presents USA's Tuesday Night Fights. José Ribalta versus the former heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes.
Thank y'all very much for all the support you gave me. And this probably was my last fight you see me tonight. Thank you.
Larry Holmes said retirement was contingent on getting a world title shot. There were no offers, so why is he back?
Different investors are talking about a George Foreman fight. Matter of fact, I even got a few dollars for some letter of intent to fight George Foreman. And if they can put it together, fine. So I felt that I need something to keep me going if I'm going to fight George Foreman, because I want to be a good fight. I want to win the fight. And I want it to be a historic fight. I don't want to be like two big fat guys going out in the blazing glory. I want to be one big fat guy and one small guy going out in the blazing glory.
Holmes now banks on a deal with Foreman. As the clock ticks, he has all but written off getting another opportunity for a world title shot.
Because I am 43 and will be 44 in November. And if I stay around too long, hey, anything could happen. And I have all my faculties. I have businesses and I have dollars. I'm happy. And I just don't want to end up hurt. You know, I just want to try to do it one good time. And I think the George Foreman situation will be a historic event. And I think George and I should come on. I don't want to look at the young lions out there, because they're not lions as far as they're just little pussycats, because they still got a lot to learn. But with George Foreman, I think the public will want to see that, and I'm willing to bet that that will be the biggest fight out here if you put it together.
Holmes' comeback has had its moments versus Mercer and Holyfield, but his last few fights, moments to forget. Glorified sparring sessions while waiting for the phone to ring. And now, with Foreman on the line, Holmes gets a little more serious. Tonight's opponent, José Ribalta, is certainly a step up. Always a fringe contender with some bad breaks along the way, like putting Jerry Coetzee down 3 times and losing the decision. He looks to turn it tonight.
Anything can happen, you know. In my fights here, I have had 22, 24 knockouts in my body career, so I consider myself a decent puncher, you know. And you know, like I say, I fought Pierre Coetzee. I knocked him down, and that's something really both couldn't even do. You know, he stopped it, the referee stopped, but he couldn't even do it, really, you know. So I consider myself a decent puncher.
I don't see too much in Ribalta. It's just that I don't like to fight big, tall guys with jabs and whatnot, and he's awkward, and he don't make you look good. When I fight somebody, I want to be able to control all the situation. I want to look good. But it's a challenge. I'll jab him, and I trade jabs with him, and I beat him to the body, and I do a lot of things that he don't think I can do.
Larry Holmes coasted through his last 3 fights because nothing really was concrete out there. But now, with the talks with George Foreman, Holmes certainly picking up the pace going up against José Ribalta.
Yeah, no question at all. This is a different kind of opponent for Larry Holmes. Before, he had those opponents that he had total control over. He could control the height, the weight, the reach. In this fight, it's going to be much different. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I think we're going to see a much more focused Larry Holmes. We're going to see him rise to another level tonight. And I think perhaps we can see shades of the former heavyweight champion of the world.
Well, he goes up against José Ribalta, who has to be considered a threat, the guy who has been a fringe contender. He brings in the element of danger, but also consider the fact that he has recently gone through a 5-game or 5-fight losing streak.
Yeah, but he's had some bad breaks on the way. Not only getting beat, but also bad breaks from the judges. He comes into this fight with the things that give Larry Holmes a lot of problems. He's a big man. He's got a good left jab. He's very agile. He takes a good punch, and like you heard him say, he is a heavyweight, and he can deliver some power. But what he lacks in the big one-punch power, he makes up for in his speed.
I feel as if José Ribalta has been around as long as Larry Holmes. That's because he turned pro at the age of 18. He is a mere 30 years of age, a mere child compared to the Larry Holmeses and the George Foremans of the world. And he still could have a career ahead of him. Larry Holmes feels he still has a career ahead of him, although it now may be reduced to a grand finale against George Foreman. Pushing 44, that's what Holmes will be on November 3rd. And this comeback, which began in April of '91, now lasted 2.5 years. He has won 10. He has lost 1. That another crack at the heavyweight title and a distance decision loss to Evander Holyfield. He's becoming well known here at Casino Magic. This has been the home away for Holmes. And he makes one more appearance. We thought that his last one here 4 months ago might have been his last one. Let's check out these two fighters on the tail of the tape, and here's an indication of what Larry Holmes has been through. 243 pounds. The last time we saw him against Paul Poirier 4 months ago, he had gotten down to 232. So in his mind, his career was over after that fight, and he has put on some weight. Now that there's a possible interest in the Foreman fight, he's going to try to get it back down again. And Ribalta, as you see, bigger than Larry Holmes height-wise, even has a longer reach than the long reach of Larry Holmes. The Mississippi rules, standing 8 count is in effect. 3 knockdown rule, yes. Saved by the bell only in the final round. Scoring in the 10-point must-scoring system. Champ, let's check out this fight strategically on your blackboard.
Brought to you by Pringles Potato Chips, tonight's boxing blackboard. Former heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes, one of the greatest ever. Nothing to prove, Larry, except that you are ready, willing, and able to fight any top heavyweight. Focus on the business at hand, this fight. Concentrate to be serious with an element of fear, Larry. Do that, and you will snap your combinations. Plus, tonight you will look better than any of your comeback fights as you go up against José Ribalta. Aging fighters lose their speed first, so speed up with sharp, snapping punches and go for the larger target. Don't lunge at his head. Dig down to the body and the head will fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, Casino Magic and the King of Beers, Budweiser, presents the Magic Main Event, 10 rounds, heavyweights. Judges at ringside are, from Destrehan, Louisiana, Elmo Adolph, and from Biloxi, Mississippi, Chester Como and Billy Moran. Your referee for this event, also from Biloxi, Mississippi, Friendly Freddie Steinwinder. Here now are the principals introducing first. In the red corner to my right, wearing green trunks, weighing 237 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 32 wins, 9 defeats, 1 draw. He has 23 knockouts. Now living in Miami, Florida, José Ribalta. His opponent in the red corner, wearing white trunks, red trim, weighing 243 pounds. His professional record, 58 victories, 4 defeats. He has 40 knockouts. He hails from Easton, Pennsylvania. He is ranked number 5 in the world by the prestigious Budweiser Boxing Illustrated ratings. He is the former heavyweight champion of the world, the Easton Assassin, Larry Holmes.
In the dressing room, I want a clean fight out of both of you. When I say break, I want you to step back, okay? Any questions? Let's close. Come out fighting.
Sean, a noticeably serious Larry Holmes in the corner.
Well, just what I'm talking about. That's why he's going to be more focused and more dedicated in this match. There is that element of fear with José Ribalta. I mean, those thoughts are running through his mind right now. Dangerous opponent.
And Ribalta comes out with a big right hand. And he wants to press the issue against a man 13 years his elder. Wants to make Larry Holmes work. The only thing with Ribalta, you don't know which Ribalta will be coming out. We talked about 5 straight losses before he knocked out Wes Turner in July. And in those fights, he lost a 10-rounder to Tim Witherspoon. And the next fight was knocked out in 3 by Bruce Seldon. Then lost the 10-rounder to Coetzee. Came back and was knocked out in 2 rounds by Frank Bruno. Then went to 10 with Michael Dokes. So if that pattern continues, you know what we're in store for tonight. But Jose Ribalta says, no, this is my chance right now to turn some things around.
And he comes out in this opening round like he is serious, and this is his chance to turn things around. But what a dangerous opponent. You don't know which one's going to show up. He's hot and cold. Well, a couple of jabs from Holmes. You know, he says he's going to push Holmes. He's going to get right in his face, back him up. That could be just the right thing for Larry Holmes. Holmes is a fighter who has seen it all, and he loves it when those fighters come after him and he can stand flat-footed. Remember Ray Mercer? Mercer just tried to come in. Every time he'd come in, Larry would use big combinations. Mercer ran into every one of them.
But Larry Holmes fought on a different level against Ray Mercer. You know, we saw that also with George Foreman in covering his early fights and the comebacks and many stiffs along the way. But you remember when he stepped in against Adalton Rodriguez, when he stepped in against Jerry Cooney, it was a different George Foreman.
Absolutely. Fighters rise to the occasion. If they have somebody in front of them that presents that element of risk, of getting hit, of getting hurt, of getting knocked out, then they come up to another level, like Larry's doing here. See the jab snapping out, see the concentration on his face, the focus.
Or with a bigger fight scenario.
Yes.
Now Larry Holmes in trouble with us getting on his selection of opponents in the last 3 fights. Rocky Vitelli, King Lacusta, and Paul Poirier. You say shouldn't even be in the same ring with the former heavyweight champ, but you can tell here this is a different Larry Holmes than we saw the last 3 fights.
Absolutely, and this is the greatness that we remember when Larry Holmes was young. That's what we want to see. We want to see a world championship performance.
The potential of seeing what is left of the greatness of Larry Holmes. And quite frankly, Holmes, by taking Ribalta, he had already written off getting any other kind of fight except the one for George Foreman. May be able to fall into something that he did not expect if he looks good here against a charging Ribalta.
But he must be careful. He can't get beat by a Ribalta. Those fights would be off.
And there is the WBO heavyweight champion, Tommy Morrison, who is working out in nearby Biloxi, Mississippi for his fight against Michael Benton. He is an interested spectator. Larry Holmes would love to get in the ring with a young Tommy Morrison, and perhaps that's going through the minds of Morrison, who has, of course, beaten George Foreman to get that crown. And now snapping out the legendary jab is Larry Holmes. What will he do with Jose Ribalta, who continues to stay on top of him and looks for a big scoring right hand?
Tries the overhand right, but Larry beat him to the punch on the inside.
The glowing moment in the career of Jose Ribalta goes back to August of 1986 when he stepped in the ring against Mike Tyson, who then was mowing everybody down. And Ribalta, with a gutsy performance, took Tyson into the 10th round, which was an accomplishment at that point before he was stopped in the 10th.
Yeah, said that he was real motivated for that fight, motivated to win like he's motivated in this fight tonight. He is throwing a lot of shots upstairs. Larry Holmes is very difficult to hit upstairs. He has terrific movement. He can pull the power out of your punches. He can move that head side to side. He is hard to hit upstairs. If you get downstairs to the body, you can slow that head movement down. But all these shots upstairs, even that jab, when you throw a punch and you miss your opponent, it takes more steam out of you than hit. You throw and land.
This is scheduled for 10 rounds. And Larry Holmes has quickly worked up a sweat. We're halfway through.
Whoa, good right hand by Larry. Ribalta is hurt. Larry threw the overhand right, snapped it right on the end. Jose Ribalta is hurt. He is stepping in post holes. Almost hit the canvas. Wobbly leg.
And now keeping his distance, it's the jab snapping out for Holmes.
The right hand. Holmes right on top. And what a great finish from Larry Holmes is. Look at these punches from Larry.
He does want to finish it.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't want this one to languish. A lot of time remaining and a lot of room between the fighters. Ribalta does not want to get stuck along the road.
He doesn't want to get hit out there on the end of his punches. 90% of the power of the punch on the end, that final snap. And that's where Ribalta does not want to be. Ribalta covering up. Larry Holmes just pot-shotting now. Pot-shotting with the right hand. This could be the opportunity that Larry Holmes wished for.
Even Larry Holmes said before this fight, on some nights, you can just walk right through Jose Ribalta. And he has done that here in this second round. In his mind, might have to be thinking, you know, finish it off now when you can.
Big turnaround in this round. Look at him cocking that right hand, ready to throw it.
Big second round for Holmes.
Now you got to show it. You got to come back and come back strong.
A lot of work in the corner, Jose Ribalta. Here is a look at it. In that second round, the right hand over the top. Measuring up with the left hand is Larry. And then kaboom, right over the top. Look, momentary delay, but that right leg is gone of Ribalta. You lose the feeling in one side of your body sometimes when you get hit on the jaw. And the feeling is lost in that right leg of Ribalta and the right arm. Oh, very scary. Good job by Larry Holmes. You get hit on one side of your jaw, the opposite side of your body goes to sleep.
But did Larry Holmes let a golden opportunity get away? He knows he'll have other opportunities though, because Ribalta coming in wildly swinging, and Holmes is looking to pop that jab.
Exactly. Ribalta is giving him the openings. See how Larry sets it up, the jab. He's looking right at him. These are the eyes of experience. This is what experience can teach you. You look for those holes. You flick the jab. Your opponent takes those jabs and he wipes them down. When he wipes them down, he doesn't realize he's leaving himself open. See why the right hand works? Look at that left jab. The left hand, Ribalta, right in front of his face. You come on the outside of that left hand. Sometimes you leave a punch out there. Give your opponent a slow punch. Let him take it. Let him think that he's wiping him down, only to leave himself open. Good combination by Ribalta. Double jab and go to the body. Now you got to stay more on the body with a fighter like Holmes. You have to stay on that body. What is that?
The mouthpiece of Ribalta.
That from the right hand once again. When you have your mouth closed and you grit your teeth, it gives you more ability to withstand a punch. If your mouth is open, that your jaw, your mandible, flips off the blood to your brain and you go to sleep. If you have that jaw tight, that won't happen.
Ribalta checking downstairs, a very small apron outside the ropes in this ring.
Whoa, there it is again.
Hurt, shaken is Ribalta in his corner. Third round action.
Oh, ref should stay close. Ribalta is really eating a lot of right hands. He's having a leather diet in this fight. See the left hand? Now look at the left hand of Ribalta. Once again, right in front of his chin. You got to get that left hand up around that ear. That's where Larry's going to hit you. Yeah. What a lot of fighters do is they pray. They get those hands in front of their face. Most of them, one right in front of the other one. In front of their face, there's no protection. No protection on the outside. They're telling him to throw the right hand, load up on the right hand. They're telling Ribalta, but that plays right into what Holmes wants to do. If you've got a freight train coming at you, like Ribalta is doing, you can knock him out. Use his energy. He comes in forward. Use him running into your right hand to knock himself out. Larry Holmes is on a different level tonight. 90% of the power of the punch is right on the end. Final snap, and that is just what Larry Holmes does. Right? That is what he does the best. It is just at the end. You clench your fist, you turn over that thumb, you lock your elbow, you put your shoulder into the punch, put your hip into the punch, your knee, you bend, and you twist. You push with your ankle and your toes, and you can feel it all the way down when you connect with your opponent. And they can too.
From June of 1978, when he beat Ken Norton, until September of 1985, when he lost to Michael Spinks, Larry Holmes reigned as heavyweight champ for 7.5 years, 20 successful defenses,
and ruled the heavyweights. He would fight anybody until he finally fought Michael Spinks, who took his title. Says that he does not think that he lost either one of the Michael Spinks fights. Remember, they fought the first time. It was a controversial decision. Then they fought again, and Michael Spinks won both of those fights.
I agree.
Yes, I do too.
But now as he pushes 44,
Michael sure wanted it that first time.
Larry Holmes thinks he should get another shot, and it's basically the experience against a very young crop of fighters who are, Larry Holmes would say, not complete fighters at this point, and it's the jab. You see the jab and the smarts.
The jab and the experience against the inexperience. Had Jose Ribalta gone downstairs to the body early, started off an attack down there.
And also the fact that nobody strikes fear in the Holmes with Mike Tyson not around. Larry Holmes has been stopped only once in his 62 fights, that by Tyson. He has been down just 3 times. Tyson, Ronaldo Snipes, Ernie Shavers.
Speaking of Tyson, he said that Mike was catching him at just the right time in his career. Said that he was off 16 months. He had just lost his title and lost his last 2 fights, the Michael Spinks fights.
Well, but Larry Holmes should have that kind of experience and know when to take a fight. The money, of course, very attractive. Same thing happened with Holyfield. He had undergone surgery for the attached retina just a few months before, but did not pass up the $7 million. Lost the decision. One of his 4 defeats.
Right shoestring has come untied of Jose Ribalta. You don't want to trip on your shoestrings. Normally what they do is they tape them like, in fact, I can see Larry's strings are taped. The professionals tape that shoestring so there's not a chance of a timeout, or there's less chance of a timeout. Round 4, now they've settled into the pace of the fight.
Packed house at Casino Magic. Join us ringside as former heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes, up a couple of levels from the last few times you have seen him against the likes of Paul Poirier and Ken LaCusta and Rocky Capelli. And this is the sharpest that he has looked going back to the Mercer fight.
Yeah, there is an old saying in boxing, you're only as good as your competition. Really in sports, you rise up to the next level if there is a danger in a loss, getting beat, getting knocked out. And he had the same. Larry Holmes showed up to fight Rocky Kelly, Paul Poirier. This might be a different story.
Well, as a grizzled veteran, Larry Holmes believing in the theory of pacing yourself.
Yeah, and slowed down the last couple of rounds, but he maintained control of this fight. And control is with that jab. He has the best jab in boxing. There's a good good right hand by Ribalta.
There's Eddie Fox, who said that Ali had a great jab that kept you off balance, but Holmes's jab is a real punch.
And that's where he learned it from Muhammad Ali. And he learned the importance of that jab, sparring with Ali to kick off his career.
Larry Holmes was Muhammad Ali's chief sparring partner. He said once when he started sparring for Ali, who of course was his hero, he said he once got a black eye, took a shot. He said he didn't let anybody put ice on it. He just wanted to walk around and show it off.
And of course, he fought and knocked out Muhammad Ali in the 11th round back in October of 1980.
A fight he really did not want to take. That says he was pressured into fighting an older Ali.
Another good right hand and staggered Ribalta. Ribalta really recovered well. He gets hurt, gets staggered, rubbery leg, and then he recovers. That's because of his youth, and he says he is in good condition for this fight. I believe him. He is in good condition for this fight. The conditioning, the physical conditioning will help you recuperate when you get hit and hurt. Good left hook to the body. We need more of those from Jose. That was his best shot of the night.
You mentioned Holmes said he was pressured into the Ali fight. His feeling at that time was, you know, am I too scared to fight Muhammad Ali? That was his toughest fight of his career. We pause for this word from our... Back in Casino Magic, Larry Holmes, who nearly took Jose Ribalta out in the first couple of rounds, and now we move into number 6, but essentially it has been Larry Holmes' fight.
Oh yeah, he went in the first couple of rounds and right there, right off the bat, showed Jose who was boss. Almost putting him down in the second round, taking control early of this fight, showing that he has speed left. Ribalta, that he does have punching power left. There's Ribalta.
Diane Holmes watching fight number 63 of her husband, Larry Jr. Also,
Larry Jr.
Bring him on, bring him on.
Son, I know is going to enjoy seeing him.
Come on.
Chase.
Give it back.
you can see the patience, the calm of the veteran Diane Holmes as compared to Marjorie Lane earlier with Garen Lane, her husband, in the ring. A veteran of 20 professional fights.
And she knows the right verbiage, too. Uh-oh. I think she spotted the camera. It's like candy camera. Oh, come on.
Her instructions to hubby Larry, you be first, get that jab going.
Well, he's got terrific jab, and he's been first throughout most of this match. The best shot from Ribalta was that left hook to the body.
Ribalta, born in Cuba as a child, around 6 years old, moved to Miami, grew up in Miami. He won his first 10 professional fights, 9 by knockout. Turning pro just before his 19th birthday. And he was becoming somewhat of a hero, Latin hero in Miami.
Yeah, he's got pretty good power, and see how he keeps trying to ball up that right hand. In these gloves, you try to make a fist. There he is, trying to make a fist with that right hand. You try to squeeze the glove to make more of a fist so you can hit harder.
Ribalta had won 16 and lost just 1 when he stepped in against Bone Crusher Smith and lost a 10-rounder. And then would eventually fight the Tyson fight and go 10 rounds against Tyson. Before that was stopped. And that actually lifted his career. Al Albert with the champ and the champ. Sean O'Grady and the new WBO heavyweight champ, Tommy Morrison, after defeating George Foreman. Now, what kind of glances are you sending in the direction of Larry Holmes?
I'm not too real concerned about it at this point. I mean, I think at this point it's very wouldn't be beneficial for someone like myself to fight someone like Larry. It's kind of a double-edged sword, you know. If you beat him, then you beat an old man. If not, then you're a washed-up bum. So it's, you know, it's a little difficult situation to be in. But I don't show any interest in fighting someone like Larry at this point.
A little different than George Foreman, the same scenario, but that had a title to it.
Exactly. Not only that, but also with George, I think he was forced to set to my sort of style. And Larry always seems to make everybody look horrible. You know, and that's the sort of fight I like to stay away from.
Having done so many of Larry's fights, I can tell you exactly what he would say to your answer.
As a matter of fact, it's going to be interesting to see if I can get out here without him saying something to me. I don't think it's going to happen.
Us too. We'd love to get out here without him saying anything to us. But how's he looking?
Well, I think he looks pretty decent. He's a very difficult guy to fight because he's so Cajun, he's so experienced. It's very difficult to get in on him. He's made a career out of making people look foolish. It's very tough to line up on him.
So would you honestly say that Larry Holmes pushing 44 with his experience and the jab that he would give you trouble? That's a reason you just can't fight him at this point.
I think so. I think it would be, as I mentioned, it's kind of like a double-edged sword at this point. I think it was too with Foreman to a certain extent, but also Foreman was a much more popular fighter. At the point when I fought him as opposed to what Larry is at this point. I think a lot of people that are in the boxing business would probably recommend that he get out of the sport as well.
A lot to lose and very little to gain.
Exactly.
Do you feel that the other champions have the same feeling for Larry Holmes?
I really, the expression that I get from a lot of people that are in the top 10 is they would recommend that he get out of the sport. I think anyone that's very knowledgeable about the sport probably could see it would be better off for him to get out. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's doing it because he needs the money. I think he owns Pennsylvania.
Get out for what reason?
Yeah. I think because it's very foolish for him to continue to fight these sort of fights, knowing, I think, in the back of his mind that no contender is actually going to give him a shot. I think he keeps fighting, hoping that someday someone, one of the champions, will say, hey, and give him a shot. But he's already got one with Holyfield and proved that he couldn't stack up.
But he says with Foreman fought the same kind of fighters that he's faced, and he got the big shots.
But popularity has a lot to do with it. When you make people turn on the TV set, it basically puts you in the driver's seat. And that's one thing that Foreman has that Larry doesn't have, I think. It's the popularity. George Foreman attracts a crowd of all sorts of people, not just boxing people.
And what about Ribalta? How does he look?
Well, I think Ribalta is, he's doing a lot better tonight than I anticipated he would do. He looks like he's pretty relaxed. I think Larry, when you get to be 44 years old, you just don't recover between rounds like you used to. And I think that's playing a major factor in this bout.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
George Foreman told me that.
The right hand again, a standing 8 count. The right hand punch again is the punch that did the damage. Look at the swelling underneath the left eye of Ribalta. Swelling also around that right eye. But the overhand right has been the story that José Ribalta has heard all night.
And apparently the 3-mouthpiece rule is not in effect tonight. As Ribalta has lost it for about the 3rd time. Seconds remaining.
There's why he's lost it.
He still does have a very, very dangerous right hand. A great right hand.
Tranquilo.
Larry Holmes is a master at getting you out on the end of that right hand. Kaboom, there it is. The mouthpiece goes, the legs go, down the ropes goes José Ribalta. Another look at it. Watch, measuring with that left hand and then kaboom. The right hand inside that left hand of Ribalta. Right on the kisser. Ooh. And on that eye. The swelling underneath the left eye, swelling over the right eye of Ribalta. He's taking a lot of shots. Ribalta said his fight plan tonight was to take it to him, make him work, beat him to the punch, pressure early. What has changed his fight plan are the big right hands that he's eating.
He did that early, first 30 seconds.
The first round, so he got hit. Yeah, and look at the legs of Ribalta. This is what is a telling sign for a fighter. If he takes a good punch, he'll have big tree trunk legs. He'll have big, thick legs, kind of like Tommy has. Big legs. If he's not, if you take all the power of the punch in those legs, you get hit, your legs are the first things that leave, and your body just falls.
We're joined by Tommy Morrison sitting here ringside. If a proposed Holmes-Foreman fight ever went through, how would you visualize that fight go?
I think it would be a very interesting fight. It would be a fight that people would definitely want to tune in to see. There's a lot of popularity involved. We're talking about someone like Foreman.
Oh, yeah.
Holmes is a masterful boxer still at this age, so I think it would be a very interesting fight.
Yeah, there's why.
Controversy.
You saw the big right hand, the same right hand that's giving trouble all night to Ribalta. Holmes got him to run into it again. Step into my right hand, he said, and he nailed it. Ribalta showing good recuperative skill.
Holmes loading up on the right, and now Holmes is pushed to the canvas by Ribalta. Ribalta buying some time.
Yes, a good move by Jose Ribalta. A move only to get Larry Holmes off of you and try to get your senses back. You've just been knocked down with a big right hand. You have to think straight.
Well, in 63 professional fights, he hasn't tasted the canvas much any which way.
Takes a lot of energy out of a fighter.
Which fighter? Both. Ribalta trying to survive this 9th round in which he was nailed to the canvas by Larry Holmes.
Relax. He got up. Oh, there it is again. Overhand right. Oof. And Larry is a master at following that left jab. If you have a man that slows the left jab down when he brings it back, and he brings it back low, right over the top, kaboom. No matter how fast he is, there will always be an opening there, but Larry is terrific at that overhand right. And snap it right on the end. You put it out there and then pop it with that twist at the end. Oh, there it is again. Kaboom. Right hands. Get your opponent coming in, rushing in, and kaboom, let him run into that right hand. Look at Ribalta. Look how loose his body gets. Arm behind him. So he needed a few seconds to recover. There you go. Push him back. Show a little bit of your own strength. Nice move by Ribalta. No, it's not really fair, but you need the time to recuperate.
And a more impressive move by the 43-year-old Larry Holmes doing the complete somersault and getting back to his feet.
Still limber.
Al Albert with Sean O'Grady, also Tommy Morrison, who's been working out in Biloxi for October date in Tulsa against Michael Bent, and peering in saying no interest in going up against Larry Holmes. And I thought it was interesting in which, speaking for Lennox Lewis and Red Bow, you would think they had interest in fighting Larry Holmes. Is it because of the reason Holmes believes that they're afraid of him?
I don't necessarily think that's the problem. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword for any one of the top 3 or 4 contenders. People have seen enough of I think they've seen enough of Foreman, him making obscene amount of money for fighting basically nobody. Also, Holmes has already gotten his shot. And I think people are very interested in seeing the top 3 and 4 contenders really duke it out and see the cream come to the top.
But also you have to have the right kind of opponent, Tommy, right? You know, you have to have the right kind of opponent, the opponent that you can look good against, the opponent that you can hit and knock out, not the opponent that doesn't want to get hit and moves around. I mean,
it's very, very hard to get in there and look impressive against basically a defensive fighter. Larry Holmes is one of the best defensive boxers out there.
Good defense, and he's shown us in this fight some terrific offense.
He's a very, very awkward sort of fighter, and he has made a lot of people look bad. I think he gave Holyfield a lot of problems, and Holyfield usually doesn't have those sort of situations and problems with just about anybody.
Did you see yourself still banging around in the ring at the age of 43?
I hope I live to be 44.
Inside a minute to go in the 9th.
Larry stumbled a little bit, but there's water over in his corner. It's not only the good jab that we talked about from Larry Holmes. It's also these feints. When he's not flipping that jab and not catching you underneath the nose or underneath the chin, he's shaking that left hand so it looks like he's going to throw a jab. You go for the feint, you leave yourself open for a right hand. Oh, he is very difficult to fight. Difficult, as you say, Tommy, to look good again.
Inside 10 seconds. 9 down, 1 to go.
Rolling around that left eye. Cut for Ribalta.
Well, there's one thing on Jose Ribalta's mind. Only one way to win this fight. Larry Holmes in his most impressive showing in some time, although he has never really been pressed.
Very good
since
tonight.
The Holyfield fight.
Very determined tonight.
Well, you could see that in his face at the start of the fight.
Exactly.
Very serious, either that or he just noticed Tommy Morrison in the crowd. He went out here knowing that there is now talk of a possible Holmes-Foreman fight. But I think once he noticed Tommy in the crowd, that maybe he even had some other thoughts on his mind, although Tommy Morrison has told us no interest in Larry Holmes. And Tommy's staying with us through the 10th round. And you know, as you mentioned before, as soon as that 10th round bell sounds, you want to hit out running. Right?
Well, I hope we pass you.
Instead of taking the wrath of Holmes.
I think I can outrun him. I think I got him.
Well, you came in with some strategy against George Foreman, staying away, resetting. And now it's Holmes holding on.
Let's see if Holmes can push down Ribalta.
In watching Larry Holmes now, do you formulate any strategy if you were in the ring against him?
I think Foreman always has a chance with anybody due to the fact that he's such a heavy-handed puncher. Someone like Holmes, I think, if really dedicated himself in training and got his weight down, I think he would have a very strong possibility of beating him because he's a better boxer. Boxers with movement always seem to give someone like George Foreman a lot of problems.
And now the crowd coming alive for the final minute. Ribalta has been down once, and now he's trying to air out whatever is left. Down in the 8th. Ribalta came out fast. Looked like he may have tried to steal this fight early from Holmes. Now he's ending fast, but it's been all Holmes in between.
And I've got Holmes way ahead on my scorecard. Ribalta just needs to try to go for that home run ball. However, a little slip over there by Jose on that water in Larry Holmes' corner. However, between the 6th and 7th round, they told Ribalta, you have to win this round to even the scorecards up. I don't agree with that, but that's what they told him between rounds.
Well, maybe they shipped the judges up from San Antonio.
For England.
Yeah, via San Antonio. Nothing against that wonderful city. Closing seconds. And Holmes ends it with a big right hand.
I think Ribalta is just happy to finish the fight.
Yeah. Ribalta's happy he's been knocked out.
Maybe I should get out of here.
Here he comes.
Tommy, thanks for joining us. We'll see you down the road. Tommy Morrison, who has a date with Michael Bent.
Michael Bent in Tulsa.
In Tulsa, October 29th. So Larry Holmes comes to the dance tonight. And it looks like he has impressively outpointed Jose Ribalta.
Tonight's boxing has been brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for a taste, smoothness, and drinkability you'll find in no other beer. Proud to be your Bud. By Meineke Discount Mufflers. At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot. And by Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp and Dry Scalp 2-in-1. Because beautiful hair can't have flakes.
Welcome back to Casino Magic. Al Albert along with Sean O'Grady. Jose Ribalta goes the 10 rounds. And he lived up to his fight plan for the first round. But Larry Brown, as you could, Larry Holmes, as you could see on his face, knows the results of the cards without even have to hear it. On his way to his 59th victory against 4 defeats. So now Mark Bureau has the totals. Let's go to the
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Elmo Adolph scores it 97-92. Judge Billy Moran scores it 98-90. Judge Chester Como scores it 190. All to the winner, Larry Holmes.
Well, tonight, Larry Holmes facing a veteran fringe contender in Jose Ribalta. Stepped up on the pedal. And a convincing victory. We understand that 2 judges in that 8th round in which Ribalta was down gave it a 10-7 round to Larry Holmes. And it's time now to take a look at tonight's Power Punch, brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. And let's go back to that 8th round in which Larry Holmes, who had nearly had Ribalta down in the 2nd and put him down, charging Ribalta. Runs into the right hand of Larry Holmes in the 8th round, and that is our Power Punch. The congratulations all around for Larry Holmes.
Your attention, please.
And now he waits for a phone call from George Foreman.
I think he's running after Morrison, but